Okay, folks, I'm going to talk to y'all. It's going to be a little show called Isaac David Brigmond in the Dark. And what I want to tell y'all right now is basically on today's show, we're going to talk about is actually 7:41 p.m. on Monday, October the 7th. And it's about time for Halloween, and a lot of you folks don't know what to do for Halloween. You kind of get to the point where you just let Halloween kind of come and go, and you don't say much, do much, or whatever. And I understand, some folks just don't want to have anything to do with that holiday. They kind of want to let that go and don't want to enjoy it. But I want to say that I believe that if you like this holiday, then take the opportunity to basically take advantage of it and say to your family and friends that you're going to do something about it. And if you do something about it, then by all means, I would suggest either put on a costume or either going to a party, but be safe and secure about it, because I've seen folks like y'all taking advantage of it the wrong way and going to the wrong kind of party and ending up wishing you hadn't have done this. But as I'm saying, don't go out there and drink and drive and get all plastered and everything, because point blank is, I'm going to tell y'all that when I do my In the Dark series, it's basically like you see now. And I'll probably do a daytime one too, but that depends. But point is, brothers and sisters out there in YouTube land, just understand that Halloween can be fun and it can be bad. We've known of times in history in different little parts of the United States, kids to get hurt, and basically churches to have prayer times for kids that got hurt on hay rides and different things. But don't just say, well, this holiday is going to come and go and we're not going to do nothing about it, because if you don't do anything about it, you're going to wish you had of, because let's face it, there are folks in this world that are into Halloween to a point of saying that they like when this holiday comes. But I'm going to tell y'all, if y'all really like it as much as you say you do, then don't let it pass you by. And there are creative ideas out there. I've heard of people taking sticks which had, limbs with the little sticks on it, made it look like you had a skeleton hand, and they went around saying one of their hands was messed up, and that was their Halloween costume. Then they turned around, and then there was some that just took and decided that their Halloween costume was going to be a newspaper rolled up to look like a newspaper horn, dude. So, I don't know. I mean, that depends on your definition of the situation. I'm not going to tell y'all what to do. But if y'all are going to do something for Halloween, your best bet is be safe and don't go in neighborhoods you do not know for a fact is good. If you have your doubts, like they say, you know, let's see, how's that saying go? Will in doubt, or if you have any doubt, don't do it. Basically, in my way of putting it, if you have any doubts about the area you're in, do not go there, because I've seen people go into stores, I've seen people go into houses, I've seen people go into places where they got respect from the patrons there, the employees and patrons, and they actually got candy, and they learned their lesson with that. They said candy is in, and that's how it was. But see, this is what gets me, is that there are people in this world that do not think about Halloween as in, it could be safe, it could be satisfying, it could be all that. No, they're more like, just don't do nothing. And I'm thinking to myself, if you really don't do something, you're going to get bummed out of your mind and say, man, I had all this I could have done and I didn't do nothing. Well, that's your fault, because you had this time. And some of y'all used to have parties for Halloween, and then when you got older, you kind of slipped out of not wanting to, and then there was that mode. But my advice is, if you're me, you may not know what to do for Halloween, but you should by that point know that there's going to be something for you to do. And don't, hold on, don't get to this point in your life where you just don't do nothing, because my advice is, brothers and sisters out there, do what you want to do that is legal. Go get a costume, go to a decent party. And hey, you churches out there, don't get this idea that if you have a Halloween party, you're going to hell for it. You're not going to see Satan for that. As long as you're doing something to keep the kids out of trouble with the actual criminals that are out there trying to give them the sicko candy, then what's the problem? I've heard of churches doing things for them, for the kids, and they got these kids doing fun things where the kids were safe and sound and they didn't have to worry about the criminals out there. Now, for those that don't know what I look like, you will have your opportunities to look at these other videos with my name on it. If you see them and you see the guy on there that is the same look in every video, just a little variations of it, that's me. But anyway, the point is, this is the Halloween version of In the Dark with Isaac David Bergman, and I just tell y'all, don't go through this about, well, I'm not going to do nothing because it might get me in trouble. How's that going to get you in trouble when you were only doing your God-given right to have fun the honest way, the Christian manner, not going out there trying to get drunk, trying to drive down the highway with your lights off, saying, I can drive home with my lights off in the dark, drunk. What's that going to prove? That you're dumb and stupid, you don't think, and you could do better for yourself. So, don't trick or treat where it's dangerous to do so. If there's a neighborhood that's been known to shoot at each other with guns and pistols and rifles, duh, right there is a prime example of where you don't go to trick or treat. I mean, and don't take your kids out there either. Because if you take your kids out there and you say, honey, go to this neighborhood where the mean man's got the gun who wants to blow your brains out, and go ask for candy. Because if you actually said that in your own little way, you're telling your child you don't care if they get hurt or not. And my advice is, shame on you, and you need to butt whoop for that mess. Because parents, some of y'all just don't care about your kids anymore. You want your kids to do anything they want to do and just get away with it. My advice to you is, hold your horses. Don't go acting like a jerk. God gave you kids for a reason. He didn't say, I'm going to give you kids for you to act like a dang punk or a fool about it. I mean, there are people out there. I may be 32-year-old, but I've seen people older than me that I'd want to whoop because they don't take care of their kids and expect their kids to grow up perfectly normal when they don't even take care of them. And they get mad at people like me for even speaking up about it. You know, if people, there is a group of people out there, if they heard everything I said, they'd be like clapping their hands and saying, yes, yes, yes. And I'd be like, well, I'm just saying how I feel, and you probably felt the same way too, folks. Sitting there telling people like me not to talk about it. You do know that there is such a thing as, if you don't like what someone like me is saying, what are you gonna do about it? You can't put me in jail, because what have I done? Pretty much ran my mouth about my feelings that a lot of folks believed in too. But you know, I see kids running around in places and parents not even watching them, and there are signs in places in this world. I said signs that say parents must accompany kids, or adults must accompany kids in whatever area that is. And there'll be kids all over the place, nobody watching them in this world. And you say, where is this place in particular? Just about anywhere anymore. Just about anywhere anymore. I mean, you know, you cannot tell a person, hey, you're not watching your kid, because first thing you know is you feel like wanting to smack them in the face for it. Don't do no good what you say. And the people that are on your side, you find out they get outnumbered by the ones that aren't on your side, because usually the ones that aren't on your side, they're the presidents, they're the lawmen, they're the people that are supposed to serve and protect you. But what are they doing? Basically telling you, yeah, we'll do something about it, which translates into, shut up, we're not going to do nothing about it. We just said that to get you to shut up. Oh, thank you. Just thank you. Thank you. Act like we ain't got no sense. And you tell me why I'm supposed to be acting like, oh, it's okay to talk about what I want to talk about, but then yet when it causes you a problem, now you want to shut me up. That's what people do with folks. They don't want to stop what people are saying unless it bothers their freedoms, their rights. You know, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm wrong. I'm saying I am whatever God tells me I am, and that's the thing I'm saying. So anybody out there, learn. Let God judge you. Let God judge you because human beings are gonna misjudge people all the time. So you might as well just say, look, God, judge this person because that's the only one that can judge properly, judge right, judge honestly. Now, if you can't get that through y'all's heads that the best judge in the world, the best lawyer, the best judge, the best jury is God, is the Lord. I mean, what's up with that? And I believe in my heart that you people out there who are out there wanting to worship the prince of darkness, the devil, come on, guess what? I believe that my leader is more important than your leader. Yep, my leader is a good Lord, and hate to say it, but he outranks yours. As a matter of fact, your leader had a chance to be with the Lord and was with him for a while, but then he just decided he wanted his own business, his own thing. He wanted to be greedy and try to be, be the same as the Lord, but in the opposite direction. Then he said, well, if you're going to be that greedy, you might as well just have your own land, your own world. I mean, according to the way the story goes, that when the devil went to his new home, hell, basically the story was he drug a lot of angels with him and turned them into his demons. But I don't know. Some folks, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Some folks, I guess you just have to understand that kids, you may not always understand your parents, but sometimes if your parents are good folks, listen to them. If they have their problems and their faults, explain it to them. Say, look, you did something wrong and I got to tell you about it. And then tell them. But if they're right, don't even go there. Don't try to correct them. Because I've seen too many kids do that stuff. They say mom, they say dad, they say, you basically are wrong and I'm right. And then they got in trouble for it. So, there's that. Well, I better let y'all go and good night.